You arrive at the monastery in autumn, when the cryptomeria trees along the mountain path have begun to shed their oldest needles. You are 17 years old. Your father was a provincial landowner of modest rank, a man who kept a small Buddhist altar in the house. He chanted the Nenbutsu each evening, calling on Amida Buddha with the faith of the Pure Land schools. You grew up hearing that salvation required only sincere devotion, that the afterlife was already arranged. But something in the arrangement felt false to you, a door someone else had opened. You wanted to open your own, so you left your father's house outside Kamakura and walked 2 days into the hills. You carried a single bundle, you wore straw sandals that were already coming apart. When you reached the monastery gate, you knelt on the packed earth and waited, as was the custom for 3 days. They did not invite you inside during those 3 days. A monk brought you a bowl of rice gruel each morning. Rain fell on the second night, soaking your robes through to the skin. You did not move. This was the test called Niwazume, the garden waiting. It was designed to break casual seekers. On the third evening, the Tenzo, the cook monk, slid the gate open and gestured you inside without speaking. You entered the Sodo, the monk's hall, and were assigned a tatami mat roughly 3 feet by 6 feet. This mat would be where you slept, meditated, and ate for years to come. It was your entire territory in the world. The bell rings at 4 in the morning. It is still fully dark. The sound is a heavy bronze shutter that moves through the wooden walls of the hall. You open your eyes. Around you, other monks are already folding their thin cotton quilts into precise rectangles. You do the same. Your hands are stiff with cold. It is December now, your first winter, and the Sodo has no heating of any kind. The only warmth comes from the bodies of 30 monks sleeping in rows on the raised platform. You fold the quilt, place it at the head of your mat, and rise. You walk barefoot across the wooden corridor to the washing area where stone basins hold water drawn from the mountain stream. The water is so cold it feels like a blade laid flat against your face. You splash it across your cheeks, your neck, the back of your hands. You scrub your teeth with a frayed willow twig. The cold does something particular to your mind. It erases the residue of sleep violently, completely, like a calligrapher wiping an inkstone clean around you. The other monks wash in total silence. There is no greeting, no acknowledgement. Silence is not an intermission between speech. Here, it is the primary condition of existence. You return to your mat and sit. Zazen begins. You fold your legs into the full lotus position. Left foot on right thigh, right foot on left thigh. Your spine is straight. Your eyes are half open, cast downward at a 45-degree angle. Your hands form the cosmic mudra in your lap. Left hand cradling right, thumbs lightly touching. You breathe the jikijitsu, the meditation hall monitor, walks the rows carrying the kisaku, a flat wooden stick about 2 feet long. If your posture slumps, if your head dips toward sleep, he strikes you sharply across the trapezius muscle. The crack echoes through the hall. It is not punishment. You're expected to press your palms together in gratitude when struck. The pain is a gift. A jolt back toward presence. You sit for 2 periods of roughly 40 minutes each. Between them, you stand and practice kinhin, walking meditation. The pace is glacially slow. Each step takes a full breath cycle. Your left foot slides forward 1/2 length, then your right. The hall is dim. The only light comes from a single oil lamp, burning before the altar of Manjushri, the bodhisattva of wisdom. His carved wooden face looks out at 30 monks shuffling in a circle like the slowest procession ever devised. You count your breaths. Your knees ache. Your ankles feel swollen and strange. The cold crawls up through the floorboards into your bones. A senior monk named Genshin sits near you in the hall. He has been here 14 years. His face has the weathered patience of old wood. He does not teach you anything directly, but you watch him. You watch how he holds his bowl, how he walks, how he breathes. He carries no urgency whatsoever. Early on, during a rare moment when speech is permitted during Samu, the work period, you ask him what the secret is. There is no secret, he says, turning a shovel full of composted earth into the vegetable garden. The secret is that there is nothing behind the curtain. You do not understand this. You file it away like a smooth stone in your sleeve. Breakfast follows Zazen. It is served in the meditation hall itself, using the oryoki system. You unwrap your nested set of 3 lacquered bowls from their cloth covering, following a precise choreography of movements. The largest bowl is called the Zuhatsu, the Buddha bowl. A serving monk walks down the row with a wooden bucket. He ladles rice gruel into your Zuhatsu. You signal him to stop by raising your hand. A second monk follows with pickled radish. A third brings hot water. You eat in total silence. You hold each bowl close to your mouth. You chew each bite 30 times. When finished, you pour hot water into the Zuhatsu, clean it with a small wooden spatula called a setsu, and drink the washing water. Nothing is wasted. Not a single grain of rice, not one drop. You wrap the bowls again in their cloth. The entire meal takes perhaps 15 minutes. Your stomach is never full. It is a controlled, permanent hunger. Then comes Samu, manual labor. You might sweep the courtyard with a bamboo broom, cut firewood on the hillside, repair the clay walls of the meditation hall. In spring, you plant rice in the small paddies below the monastery. In autumn, you harvest daikon radishes, bundling them for winter storage. The physical work is considered as much a practice as sitting meditation. There is a phrase you hear often from the Roshi: carrying water, chopping wood. This is the miraculous activity. You chop wood until your palms blister and the blisters harden into calluses. Your body changes over the months. The softness of your provincial upbringing burns away. 3 years pass. Your father sends a letter through a traveling merchant. He is ill. He asks you to return to manage the family's land. You hold the letter in the courtyard. You can smell the ink, the particular mineral scent of the sumi he always used. You do not go. This is the severance that monastic life demands, and it cuts something inside you that never fully heals. 5 years in, the Roshi assigns you a koan during Zazen, the private interview. You kneel before him in his small room. The floor is bare wood. A single scroll hangs in the alcove. He says, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" You know this koan intellectually. You have read commentaries. You offer an answer. He rings his bell. The interview is over. You have failed. You return to your mat and sit with the question. You sit with it for months. You bring answers to Zazen again and again. He rings his bell each time. The bell means, no, you're thinking, stop thinking. You begin to hate the bell. You begin to hate the Roshi. This hatred is not a deviation from the practice. It is the practice working. After 8 years, something breaks in you, not enlightenment, something worse, despair. You have given everything to this path. Your youth, your family, your body's comfort, and you have nothing to show for it. You're still the same restless, grasping person who walked up the mountain at 17. The silence that once felt purifying now feels like a prison. The cold water, the hunger, the kisaku strikes, they are just suffering without meaning. You consider leaving, you consider walking into the winter mountains and not coming back. You go to Genshin. He is older now, his hair gone entirely white. He is mending a fishing net for the monastery's pond. You tell him you have nothing left. He does not look up from his work. Good, he says, now you can begin. You want to strike him? Instead, you sit down beside him and watch his hands move through the net, tying knots, testing tension. You watch the way the light falls on the water of the pond. You watch a leaf drift from the surface toward the drainage channel. You watch without wanting anything from the watching. Something shifts. It is not dramatic. There is no flash of light. The pond is just a pond. The leaf is just a leaf. But you're no longer separate from them. The boundary between you and the morning has dissolved quietly like salt in water. You bring this to Zazen. The Roshi looks at you. You do not offer an answer to the koan. You simply sit. He does not ring his bell after a long silence. He nods. The interview is over. The years that follow are different. You become the Tenzo managing the kitchen. You rise even earlier than the other monks to prepare the gruel. You pour your attention into washing rice like it is the most important act in the universe. Because in that moment it is you become the one who carries the kisaku during Zazen. You strike sleeping monks with precision and compassion. You understand now that the stick is not cruelty. It is the monastery's way of saying, wake up, you're alive, do not miss this. You're 53 when Genshin dies. He passes during Zazen, sitting upright on his mat. The monks on either side of him notice only because his breathing stops. His body remains in the lotus position. You help wash him with cold water from the mountain stream, the same water you have splashed on your own face 10,000 mornings. His body is light, almost hollow, like a cicada shell. He is cremated on the hillside. His ashes are placed in a small ceramic urn beneath a stone marker. 20 more years pass. You are the oldest monk in the monastery now. Your joints ache constantly, your eyesight dims. New monks arrive, kneel at the gate for 3 days in the rain. You watch from the corridor, you remember your own arrival, the way the cold soaked through your robes. You want to tell them it will be worth it, but that would be a lie. It is not about worth. It is not about getting anything at all on a morning in early spring, when the plum blossoms have just begun to open along the monastery wall. You sit on your mat for the 4 o'clock Zazen. The bell sounds. The cold water is behind you. The silence is complete. You breathe in. You do not breathe out. Your body settles forward slightly. The monk beside you does not notice for several minutes. When he does, he presses his palms together. The jikijitsu walks past with the kisaku and pauses. He bows. They carry you from the hall in the same silence that held you for 56 years. The plum blossoms continue opening. The stream continues carrying cold water down to the stone basins. The 4 o'clock bell will ring again tomorrow, and the morning after, and the morning after that. The monastery does not notice your absence any more than the river notices a single ripple fading from its surface.